program. It's still Good Morning, Anambra, and it's that time where we discuss some burning, salient issues bothering our economy. Well, everyone knows it's that election period. It's that time, few days away from now. We will be at the pool, probably making that decision that's going to be changing the fortunes and the situation of Nigeria for the next 4 years. Well, this morning we are going to be talking about curbing vote buying. Curbing vote buying, and we've got some guests in the studios who's going to be helping us this morning as regarding this topic. I'm talking about Barrister Ifechukwu Dan Jacob, a legal practitioner, and of course a public affairs analyst. Good to have you on the program.
Thank you, the presenter. Yes, welcome again.
All right, and we also have Dr. Ifeanyi Ike, SSA to the governor. To Governor Willie Obiano on political matters, and of course the LG Lizan. Good morning.
Good morning, the presenter, and to the viewers. I say good morning, lend us your ear. Happy viewing.
All right, there are divergent views on the effectiveness of legislation against vote buying, which in turn affects the extent to which civil society is seen to be able to play a role. Curbing vote buying. We'll start with a question first. I come to you, SSA. What do you understand? What does it mean when we say curbing vote buying? What's vote buying to start with?
Well, vote buying is a process whereby politicians mortgage the conscience of the voters or the electorates by inducing them with money or other resources that will sway them away from their God-given conscience to follow the dictates of another individual or a particular party and cast their vote against their own very wish because they have gotten material satisfaction from that politician. That is vote buying.
You agree with him?
Up to some, I agree with him. To some, the vote buying actually in Nigerian context, because that issue of vote buying is more common in this country and other African countries, developing nations. Because in advanced countries, we don't have such issue of vote buying, because issue of vote buying occurs when politicians influence decisions of voters with money by giving them certain amount of money to change their mind from what they had decided to do initially to do what they wanted them to do. So that is the problem, and it's a very serious issue because Nigerian politicians have devised a way of impoverishing the populace so that do the election like now they are swung everywhere. When you give somebody 2,000, maybe in his pocket he don't have 1 naira, he will drop on that 2,000. So the issue of to curb vote buying in Nigeria, we must tackle issue of poverty.
All right, we'll still get to that. Let's come to you, Doctor. Some say it's a new measure. I mean, it's a new type of electoral crime. While some school of thought still say that it has been with us from time immemorial, and it's not peculiar to Nigeria, just like Barrister said, to African countries, but it is a global phenomenon. But the techniques that are being employed now are quite different. Do you agree with that statement?
Now, before I go into that, I want to make a flashback to United States of America. When one of the candidates was asked during his campaign tours, what are the reasonable factors one can bring to bear on the generality of the public for you to win election? He said there are 3 major factors. They said he should name them. The journalists, struggled for him to name them. He said the first factor is money. They waited for him again. He said the second factor is money. And they asked again. He said the third factor is money, meaning money, money, money. It's here with us in Nigeria. It's also some other places. The issue, as my colleague said, is the problem of poverty. Okay? Let me tell you, there's one thing about politics in Africa. The black man now has realized that when they vote people into power, what they do is that they cruise into a new phase of life and forget the downtrodden that casted those votes for them. And because that is happening, the voters have decided, just like Chinua Achebe said, since Enekenti Oba the bird has learned how to fly without what? Perching. They have learned how to shoot without missing. So they said, get me that money now, because if you go there, you only see me, you wave to me only, Now you come down to me, beg me, even kneel down to ask for my vote. But once you get that vote, you go to that red chamber, green chamber, House of Assembly, government house. You don't remember us anymore. Look, let me have what I will say. This is what I've gotten, even for the next 4 years.
But
let it be my own benefit.
It will be worse because
It's not good. I'm not supporting
it.
this.
Yes,
Worse.
I get
Because
totally
people
get it.
now,
Yes.
we are talking about someone giving you money, maybe 5,000, 10,000,
Okay.
and when he eventually gets to the red chamber or whatever he's going
Yes.
to, he will want to recoup the money he spent.
That's correct. That's what I am saying. It's not good. But it has come to be with us because of the way politicians have played on the intelligence of the voters
Good.
over the years.
Now
That's
you,
the
you,
problem
you,
we
you
have.
said something that is striking and very important, that the politicians, the electorate would say, okay, give me my own now, because when you get there, I probably won't get it.
Yes.
But now I have issues with give me my own now. Okay, fine. If you want to take your own, why aren't you taking what is worth it? That's my question. Because if you tell me now that I have to go to the pool and you're giving me a 2,000 naira that won't even get me a good meal at a very good restaurant, or 5,000 or 10,000 can get me a good senator suit, why am I taking the money to start with? Because if you're telling me you're giving me a 10,000 naira, a 2,000 naira for the period of 4 years, what is it worth? So why on earth?
You are saying this because you are literate, you are educated. Some of them there, how many of them are educated as you are? How many of them reason the way you do? What they are after is what they can grab right now. They have forgotten that the same politician, if he's a good one, will say come back to the community to initiate projects, road network, building of secondary school, primary schools, market for them, and things like that. But let me tell you, the problem with Nigeria today is that those that have been in power politically have so messed up the system that the common electorate no longer trusts them. They believe once he goes there, he will remember them for the next 4 years. He will only come during campaign again to start all over, to woo them and start doing vote buying once again. So it's already a bane. It's a problem. And it's turning to none in our society today. So that is a problem in Nigeria.
Well, it's obvious that vote buying is actually here with us in Nigeria, and it's something that is eaten deep. And now the problem is politicians who actually engage in this, they've come to the fact, they have this belief that their manifestos is not longer enough to guarantee them success. And this is why they initiate this vote buying, come with money, all forms of name. I mean, you can hear someone talking about stomach infrastructure, someone will come with trader money, someone will come with whatever name, all in the bid to make people happy and probably say, I did this for you, go and vote for me. But the candidates really don't feel that their good manifesto and their integrity counts anymore. Where do we go from here, Barrister Dan?
Well, I think the whole thing rests upon the populace, Nigerians. Nigerians are naive on the issue of election. They're uninformed. They don't know what politics is all about. They only believe that those of them that are playing politics are the people that are supposed to be there at all costs. That if we don't get what we have to get for them now, we might not get it again. But if they know that they are right, consider right, they should go for the best candidate. If somebody somewhere rigged the election, they stand up against it, protest against it, fight against it. We need to educate our populace to know the importance of good governance so that they will not sell their future and future of their children for peanuts. If we have the knowledge, we still have a lot to do to educate them. It's because it's wrong knowledge. They don't have the right knowledge of what politics is all about, governance is all about. That is why these few politicians are messed them up. If 80% of Nigerians are aware of what is called politics and governance, things will change for better.
How can they be aware?
That's why we're talking about massive education.
And enlightenment.
And they are not doing it. It's only during election period they will come and making noise.
Okay, so we have a caller here. Hello, good morning. Good morning. All right, let's start with the education right here now. Then tell us what effect vote buying will have on election itself, the populace, the electorate, and the nation as in the country itself too.
It's very simple. The right candidate will not emerge because he has just bought the conscience of the people. and they vote him into power, he will go there and will not know what to do because he don't have any credible manifesto. The manifesto will showcase what you plan to do for the people. So,
hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Your name and your location?
On the ABS coming on.
Yes, OBS. Can I forgive the
Okay. I'm from Bubaka, okay,
Part, okay, all right, go ahead.
Because even now, taking an iron even now, taking an iron
Gabani
Runna.
Una like in 2000 in a better place. No one some people now 2,000 up a week. You okay for them. Then you put 10,000 for giving a shoot. No one do not play that we not meal and food. Look at promise and you from my Johnson to our the first place in the now. Of course, 1 hour off. After going to the wine. When the social always I want money telling I throw for a boat. I knew it's long where to our boat at the second time. Governor, like you about to know you. A time I lose of my Johnson to our when go now. We're going to tell no more about our every blessed day.
All right, Pat, thank you so much for your contribution.
Dalupat.
Doc, you've heard it.
But I can react to this.
Yes, I want you to react.
It's very simple. Pat, let me tell you, this current second term administration of Chief Willie Obiano is just 1 year old. We still have 3 years to go. So don't worry. Governor promises and he fulfills his promises. Have patience. Right. 3 good years ahead is still coming.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, but I have to Joseph on the line.
Go ahead, barrister.
Yes, I'm reaching you from Wakari.
Cool.
Yes, the angle I want to come is the issue of this because from the way the people are talking now, it seems you simply conclude that vote buying is only by being encouraged by poor people or unemployed youth. I want to kind of disagree with you people there.
No.
Let me tell you something. The elites in the society have actually pursued critics. During the election, you find out that some of these educated ones, they will simply tell the contestant, I have my guides that can deliver you. Bring money. And once they bring this money, they will give it to the educated elites in the community. They will now call their boys and now give them money and say, go to the plea unit and start sharing this money. So you find out that they also partake in this mess. It's not only unemployed youth. And because of the poverty, because the people who are representing us, they are not even giving the people who they ought now resort to vote buying. So we blame everybody.
All right.
Thank you so much, Barrister.
It seems that we have a mindset that needs to be changed.
Yes.
Talking about the electorate, from what Barrister said and the other caller said, it's not just about the 2,000 or 10,000 watts of material or the money they are going to give you. So how do we change the mind of those people, the electorate? Because we are talking about the effects. I want them to know the effect this will have on Nigeria election, Nigeria as a nation, and then them that are taking the money. Yes, okay. You get the problem.
One of the major things which we have failed to do in Nigeria is to make the people believe that their vote will count. Because votes have not been counted in the past. It has made people to believe, even if I cast my vote for my preferred candidate, some other person may be declared the winner. Therefore, the best option now is to make sure that the INEC is doing properly what they are supposed to do in terms of conducting this election. What happened at Osun at Ekiti? That was the highest level of vote buying in Nigeria. According to journalists, such has not been witnessed in this country before, Ekiti and Osun. So what I'm trying to imply is that we should first and foremost do the right thing. Credible, free, fair election. Once we are satisfied with this and we practice it in this country, the electorates will be happy that their vote will count, and they may not bother to go for vote buying, to give me money, I'll vote for you. They will know this is the right candidate I want. Even if you give me this money, I may consume it. I still vote for the man I want. By the time we get to that level, then Nigeria will change.
All right, good. You actually heard what the SSA says. Do you think we can get to that level of conducting an election and it to be free, fair, and credible? Now, can Nigeria survive? Nigeria's democracy, can it survive this turmoil that's really happening in our country?
We can get to that level if we all resolve to do the right thing. Both the institutions concerned, the Nigerian populace, the leaders. If we want this country to actually move forward, we must do the needful, we must do the right thing. There's no way we will continue this way and grow. If we don't conduct free and fair election, we will get it wrong at all times.
It's good. It's good you're sounding this way. The caller who called from Ufuma said, the way I'm actually talking, there's a lot of people who 2,000 naira is a whole lot for 10,000. It's even a whole lot for me. In fact, 500 is a lot for me. But here's the thing. If I get a 5,000 from this politician and 10,000, let's assume that it's going to take me for 1 month. 1 month, Gafi, same more. Because that's the question. I need him to understand, or anyone.
We need to sacrifice. We need to have the right knowledge that this issue of collecting 10,000 is not what we needed in this country to move forward. We need to educate them to know the importance of governance. That the governance is all about using the resources of the people, available to the people, to serve the people. But once you buy their votes, you spend your money. When you get there, you would like to recoup your expenses.
Exactly.
And if we understand that once you allow the politicians to buy your votes, you have already engaged in sort of trade with them. They will make their gain. When they go there, they will say, after all, I'll pay them.
Okay, let me ask. Okay, you want to ask a question? Go ahead.
I wanted to ask a question because while we are talking, a picture appeared on the television where they were showing people standing on the line and they were giving them money. I bet they were people that came to cast their votes. And I know that we have security agents there and there where we cast our votes. Why would... Okay, look at the picture I'm talking about. Okay. Does it mean they are not there and this kind of crime going on?
The problem we have in this country on the issue of security is that once a government in power, everybody seems to dance towards their own agenda. The security agents, once if they actually know their what, they should be independent. They should not be partisan. Because they are the people securing this country. They are people promoting unity and security of this country. If they allow things to go the way it ought to be, fight crime the way it ought to be, politicians will sit up. Only that the security agents compromise. They are involved. Some of them are giving money, they are even involved. So the security agents should know their duty, that they are not partisan. They should defend the integrity of this country, defend the interests of this country.
All right, hello, good morning.
Hello?
Good morning.
Hello?
Hello, good morning. You're connected. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Your name and location.
Good morning.
Yeah. Network. Keep the calls coming.
In addition to what we said last,
yes.
The police themselves are usually compromised. And once they are compromised, they also take their own money.
Yeah.
And when you have taken that money, what moral justification have you to tell others not to collect the money? It's common in polling booths.
Okay, let me play the devil's advocate. Let me play the devil's advocate. I'm at the election poll. I want to cast my vote, and the politicians or their boys wants to buy my vote. Okay, if they're not bringing a 10 million, I'm not selling. Like if you're not bringing a 5 million, I'm not selling because yes. Now, okay, you're giving me 2,000, 5,000. It's clear. You and I know it can't change me for anything. At most 2 weeks, 1 week. I'm going to feed with it and that's it. So let me assume you want to change my life by buying my vote. Then give me a 10 million at least for a start. Then I can probably go back home, recoup, start a business.
The problem is that if you refuse to collect
so
10 million,
yes, because they cannot.
another person will collect
No, because they cannot give an individual.
I'm sure you have heard that. If you cannot collect it, somebody else is somewhere willing to collect. So
No,
what do you do?
that's why we cannot continue this way.
That's the problem we
because the
have.
question is, if the electorate agrees that 2,000, 5,000 is the way forward, how would we ever get it right in this country?
I think
Let
we
us
have a
reduce
caller here.
poverty.
Hello, good morning.
Agreed.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Your name and your location, please.
From Ago.
Chukwu go from Agolo. Ngwa Ganiru.
Yeah. Biko, afọ n'ifu na-ekwu. Obere ife m na-achọ ka ndị kwuru bụ na ụfọdụ mgbe a na-eme elekshọn, a na-eme everywhere adịbụkwuru for ndị a na-eke ndị mmadụ ego. Because na ọ bụrụ na enwere aka azụkọ ndị ife atụ na vootu, ọ onye pụta ọdịkọ n'ebe o binyere aka wee were ego. Ọ bụrụ na a ga-eprotect nwụrụ anyị ebe ahụ a na-eji atụnye dịbụ ịghọta. Onye ihe n'ala ego, ọ bụrụ iwu na ọ ga-agba ebe itinye.
So, n'ihi analili ego na ihe na-akọwa.
Because there are some people that always give.
In terms of religion, just protect the line down and they aka.
Okay.
Some people who are more young than the election. It guys in the best proper. Kapamala ministry na APC mo ministry lepa the general president. You know, just protect
But let us tell ourselves
You've heard him.
Yeah, I've heard him. The gospel truth is this. But we in Nigeria may not accept it. Let me tell you, if you want to stop or curb vote buying in Nigeria, forget about secret ballot system. Come back to option A4. Open ballot system. Queue behind the candidate of your choice. If you have taken money from anybody, you may not come to the polling booth that day. Because you'll be scared that the person will spot you standing for another person. We also practice it, it works for us.
Okay, hold it there. Good morning.
Good morning.
Your name, please, and where you are calling us from.
Yes, I am calling from Oka. Yeah, I'm calling from Oka. My name is Evangelist Maxon. Justice one.
All right, Evangelist Maxon, go ahead.
Evangelist, please move away from your TV set, please.
Yeah, the issue is this.
Evangelist, please move away from your TV set.
The issue is this. There is no way you can condemn this collection of money at the polling booth.
Hello?
So what I am saying, what my opinion is this. If you come at the polling booth and you want to vote for PDP, for instance, or you want to vote for AFGA, or you want to vote for NCC, these people, all these agents, they are there sharing the same money. And so I think the best thing should do is not to collect for PDP and vote for AFGA, or collect from AFGA and vote for PDP. Make sure you collect the money from the very party you wanted to vote, so that your conscience will be clear. You understand? So I think if you tell us today that we have to condemn entirely the collection of this money at the polling booth, I tell you, man, there are a lot of hungry men in our society. I had one of your presidents saying that if you want to collect money, collect 10 million. Who told you? There are people who don't see 1,000 naira in a day to cope up with. So if they have such opportunity to get this money, they will get. They will not hesitate to get. But my humble opinion is that let people make sure that they are getting the money from the party they wanted to vote for. Because all the parties gather there to share the same money.
All right, thank you so much for your contribution. And when you collect the money, you're selling your vote, you're selling your conscience.
Because
and at the end of the day, the person is not doing anything as regards developmental strides.
you want to vote.
Okay. It's you, don't buy him. I mean, what are we talking
The
about
issue
here?
we are talking about is to encourage good governance.
Now, INEC has said that the commission would embark on reorganization of polling units across the countries in order to curb the menace of vote buying and ensure credible poll ahead of 2019 general election. Now, my question is, how realistic is this? Do you think this is possible? Because we know that when it comes to election in this country, money and votes, politicians throwing money here and there is the center and the main issue. Now, INEC has come to say they're going to organize a reorganization to curb vote buying. How realistic do you think this can be as regards to this general election?
If they are sincere, they have all it takes to do that. The vote, the budget they presented was granted to them. They captured all the expenses in that budget. They have the support of the masses, support of the government. Whatever they want to achieve, they have the wherewithal to achieve that. The problem is the willingness.
Are they willing to do
Are they willing to do so?
All right, Doctor, when you were saying something, going back to option of A4 and all that.
Option A4.
Yeah.
In option A4 as an political exercise for election, Humphrey Nwosu adopted it. It worked out. Even though the military did not allow that to succeed. That was during, was it Abiola period, if I'm not mistaken. And that means a process whereby it's open ballot system. Queue behind the candidate of your choice. That will reduce vote buying. Because they have taken from Mr. A, and I want to vote for Mr. B, I will be scared that very day that the man will see me doing the wrong thing.
That while we are queuing up, and then these people are somewhere luring you. If you come over to this place, I'm going to give you 5,000. You
can change. That will bring about crisis, which we are going to live with for some time, and we adjust ourselves. For instance, I'll give you an example. If you legalize arms in this country now, so that in your house you have your pistol, there will be crisis for some time. But with time, we respect ourselves. What you have, I say, God, I have my own. Yes, that's what how America is now.
You respect yourself.
Yes, crisis will come, but we shouldn't be afraid of it.
Option F4.
You know,
actually, it might promote some transparency to a certain level, but it's crude.
Okay.
It will not encourage people that are enlightened. Politics activities are actually to go the way it ought to go. I might have sympathy for Party B, and my friend might be in Party A. He will be disturbing me and say, okay, don't worry, I'll vote for you, but I will. If on that day, do you get the point? So the issue of option A4, though it's good, but it's not a modern way of casting votes.
Okay,
What I'm saying is that we should, the empire that is responsible for organizing the election should make sure that everything they are doing is free and fair. The problem we have is not the issue of secret balloting. It's making it free and fair, being sincere about it. Insincerity is our major problem. If the INEC leaders and people are concerned will be sincere and do the needful, then at the end of the day, declare the actual vote cast. That will help. And you won't create problem for people in their relationship.
Let's okay, you want to ask?
All right, let's leave the day of the election or people sharing money to you. Now, how do we change the mindset of people? Like somebody just said that the best thing is just to collect the money from the party you want to vote for. So how do we change their mindset to see that vote buying is a no-no?
And for the other person who feels the 1,000 and 2,000
will go a long way
because
to feed someone. What do we need to do now to
it's a big problem
buying,
because
apart from that particular day
yes.
of the election.
Okay, what we need to do is to me, is also simple. It depends on the leadership of this country to work hard and improve on our economy. The economy is in bad shape. It's affecting a lot of families. That's why they struggle even to collect the crumbs from the table to eat. And that's why they can take anything to mortgage their conscience and they will follow. So the best bet is trying to fix the economy of this country so that the average Nigerian will be satisfied. Even salary, this look at salary increment now. People are talking 25, 30,000. What is it? It's not enough. What are the policemen there that is always there morning, afternoon, night? How much are they being paid? That's why they collect this little bribe of 20 naira, 10 naira, 5 naira. Can't we improve on the economy? Improve the salary structure of all workers. Okay, make business to thrive. That somebody doing business will have good gain at the end of the day and will be satisfied with what he has. If we're able to improve on our economy, most of these things which we scramble for will gradually dissipate. I mean, they will reduce. But once it's not that way, people are hungry. People want any small thing that can come into them. People even plan a profession of begging now because they beg to get money just to feed their families. So that's number one. Then education and enlightenment is very important. We should use the media, electronic media, even the print media, to reach to the people. We can go through the community, through PGs and so on, to let the people know that vote buying and selling is not ideal for us to have free, fair, credible election. Once we're able to permeate, even churches, very important to use the churches, crusade, and things like that. Some will be changed, some may not, but some may be reached out and they say, this is, yes, okay, there's a law, I think it's constitutional, that if you do vote buying, the penalty is either 500,000 and 12 months imprisonment, or both. That's a law on that. Now, the police themselves should be, to me, we are going to blame them.
I think we'll get back to
We'll
that.
talk more on this. Let's quickly go for a short break. Of course, let's go to the street and listen, hear what people have to say as regards to curbing vote buying. We'll be right back.
Well, INEC has tried to put in some measures to curb vote buying. Nobody will enter inside the voting cubicle with a photographic device or camera. The idea is to stop the menace of maybe after thumb printing, you now photograph. When you come outside, you show it to the parties so that they will in turn pay you. This is one measure. Then we have tried to reposition the setup of the polling units. Now, once you come out of the voting cubicle, you go straight to where the ballot box, away from where the presiding officer, so that nobody will have the opportunity of, branding by showing you where you voted. Beyond that, we have been carrying out voter education on the dangers of vote buying. People should know that it's a criminal offense. If you are caught, will be prosecuted, and more importantly, you are selling your future and the future of your children by receiving a peanut. When you sell your vote, you have no right again to ask the candidate that you sold your vote to come and construct road for you or build house for you or do something for you. You have sold off your rights for the next 4 years. They will not have any business with you. So people should know that they are mortgaging their conscience. People should vote freely.
To stop it, I felt that day, the policemen will have to play their own role by monitoring those party agents and those who sharing the money, so they can help them not to approach to the individual. They allow them to do vote the candidate of their choice.
The government should work harder to make sure that, one, they eradicate poverty, extreme poverty. When people have jobs, when people are employed, hunger is drastically reduced. People can afford their 3 square meals, and then they can think and help to build a better nation. In that case, people will think about giving meaningful contribution to the country, to the nation, than looking for how to put food on the table. When you shift their focus from putting immediate food on the table to something greater, then I think Nigeria will be moving forward.
But you may vote by and avoidable. Here we do not can the politicians. Because Kembama ya wano kito benegi 5,000 naira or 10,000 naira saying I near your vote, but because of hunger may hire more this kind of thing. But I want to talk about that game through I can the police in the woji. Oh, how I say yes, Hatana na we man the name here. Cause I will reach in the police Ghana name all this country within the politics and name here. So now the home town. I talk about don't I can the security agency like I see where me. Only one I me jide me is but arrest. Even man the politicians na need lo how I cause here.
Believe in yourself and know what you can do. When you believe in the right thing to do, then things will be okay. Secondly, we can also avoid vote buying by making sure that the security is well intact. Then everybody should try as much as possible to vote for whom he or she wants to vote for, not minding the circumstances.
All right, good to have you back. Well, a whole lot of people really said a whole lot regarding COVID. Let's react to some of the talks. A whole lot of people talked about covering the election.
Okay, somebody talked about the issue of the police. I want to talk about the police. If you go to the polling booth on the day of the election, you will end up seeing just about 2, 3, or 4 police officers. Maybe a booth has a total of about 800 voters. What will 2 policemen or 4 policemen do? And they're not armed, you know. They go with their baton. There's no way 2, 3, 4 policemen can control vote buying in a polling booth arena. Not possible. The best bet is, if really we want to succeed, the number of policemen posted to a particular booth should be increased. And they should be told to be moving around, checking the activities of the people who are desirous to sell vote and those who are desirous to buy votes. Then about 2 will stay with the what do they call them? The organizers, returning polling clerk, polling and whatever. Then the others will be moving around. When they know that police is there and the police themselves do not collect this money, people will be scared.
What I wanted to ask.
Yes, because
having in mind is that they could be bought over.
A policeman now, you see, and give him just, let's say, 1,000 naira and tell him to look the other way. He will certainly look the other way. That's Nigeria for you. So until we make sure that the policemen are also very disciplined to their job, and we pay them well, so that they will say, what am I collecting this dime for? It's not, it's peanut. I'm being paid well. Let me do what I'm supposed to do. But where is the money? The police that collects 5 naira, shoot people because of 10 or 20 naira, bus drivers. What will he not do when he sees 1,000 naira? So we have a lot to do to refashion our police. Let them be true policemen that will not depend on material resources to do their job. But they will do their job because this is the job they are called upon to do for the country. And they will serve the country dutifully to the best of their ability. Remembering what we said about our national anthem, remembering our national pledge, and they put their mind on the job. Let their mindset be attuned with the job they are supposed to do to offer security for the country.
All right, let's come to you, Barrister. We've established the fact that vote buying is punishable by law, and yet it keeps happening every time we have election in Nigeria. Does it mean that people have not been caught or they have not been prosecuted before now?
Well, from what has happened so far, the law enforcement agents are not to actually enforce that law. The provisions of the law are not enforced. That is the problem. If they enforce it, some people are arrested, are prosecuted, and punished according to the provisions of the law. Many will be deterred from doing that. The law enforcement agents should do their job. That's the major issue. The security men around that, now they have mapped out about 300,000 policemen for this present election. They should know, not the number that matters, but readiness to do the job. Sincerity in their job. They should be ready by themselves not to partake in that evil too. When you commit a crime, will you have the moral courage to arrest those that committed the same crime? That's the problem. Most of the time, the security agents compromise. And when they compromise, they won't have that moral courage again to go ahead. Because people that are around will say, you did the same thing. Why are you arresting me?
Well, many political analysts they've agreed that vote buying is not a new thing. It has always been there. But there's this feeling now that it's getting out of hand. The former president of the country, Goodluck Jonathan, says there's a feeling among Nigerians about civil war. Now, he is not, of course, not promoting a war, but it's getting to the point where Nigerians will no longer be able to take it anymore. Because when it comes to issues of elections, I was discussing with someone the other day. You're telling me you want to vote this particular party, you want to vote this other party, and you find out that the two parties who are probably, ruling Nigeria are the same people over the years, who probably are not even bringing anything to the table. So the thing is, can we ever come out of the situation? Can we curb vote buying? Is there a time that we can have an election and the economy becomes good and people, the citizens, get to the point and say, see, I want this this is who we want because we know he's going to serve us right?
Yes.
Well, especially those who we're going to get there. If the right things are being done, the right education is given to the people, not giving them half knowledge. Like in our educational system, we should lay a solid foundation for our children, educate them on time, and show them the need to work hard. Encourage them to believe in themselves, not to believe in what they can get from government. First and foremost, when you train a child to believe that I can achieve, and once you have that courage to challenge future by yourself and succeed, when somebody comes around to tell you, take this, you'll be proud enough to tell him, I can do that. We need good governance for you. We don't need your money. We can support government through our own contribution. When we get to that point of citizens knowing that they can support governance through their own contribution in one way or the other, they will shun this money back. You know, in Nigeria today, many people are full-time politicians, which you can't get in a developed world. People are taking politics as a job, which is very wrong. You must have a meaningful source of livelihood before you become a politician. But once you are all through your life, you become a billionaire because you're a politician. What are you trying to encourage from the youth? We should discourage this ill-gotten wealth, illicit wealth. We should know how to remove money from the house of these people that got it wrongly and encourage hard work among Nigerians. When they believe in themselves, they will take the future of this country to their hand.
What's the way forward finally?
Yes, I think there should be a kind of a rebrand on our education. I will refer to what I may term civil education, which will not be with us. Our generation is already corrupt. Our generation is already gradually phasing out. We take it down to the grassroots of our little children in nursery and primary school. There should be a new awareness to be created. Are you getting me? To rebrand them in a special way that they will form a fulcrum of a new Nigeria. What am I trying to say is that when we bring them up, teaching them all these things in good time, vote buying is bad. It's good to work on manifesto of candidates and see what they can offer. It's good to follow an administration to know whether they have done well to be able to be voted back into power, or whether they are supposed to be jettisoned out for not doing a good job for the people. Once we begin to inculcate this into the younger generation, a time will come when they will stabilize with that knowledge of civility, and with that they will now change the face of this country. But for us, the old cargoes, that has been a bane with us. Let us start from somewhere. If we mess it up and phase out, let our children make it better. That's what we should be thinking about.
All right, thank you very much. We can go on and on talking about curbing vote buying. Well, it's here with us. The best thing we can do is to stop it, sensitize people, and make them know why it is bad to sell their vote. And this is exactly where we are drawing the curtains and this discussion curbing vote buying. And want to say a very big thank you to Ife Chukwudan Jacobs, a legal practitioner and of course public affairs analyst. Many thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you, the presenters, viewers. Thank you for giving us your time.
And of course, Dr. Ifeanyi Ike, SSA to Governor Beyond Political Matters, and LG Leizan. Many thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much. Thank you, viewers, for lending your ears to us. I also am a politician. Remember to vote APGA all the way 16th.
All right. Well,
if you're a politician, and make sure you guys do not buy people's votes.
Yeah. No, we are doing well.
All right, I know you are doing well. I was just joking.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much for being a part of this morning's program. That is Good Morning Anambra. And make sure that you don't sell your vote, and your vote will count this time around. Your PVC is the right you have to vote in the person that you want to take us through another administration in Nigeria. Thank you so much for joining us.
all right, I'm a very good now. Your PVC is your power. We've just got a few days to make that decision that's going to take us for the next 4 years. Many thanks for joining us. Thank you.